Hello, I'm Susan Woods of Susan Woods Nonprofit Solutions. Thank you for your time. Just like so many people in the world, I was appalled by the video of Mr. George Floyd that showed him literally losing his life to the point where I wanted to make a tangible difference. I wanted to do something. So I decided to invest in Black Lives Matter. At the time, I had no idea that Black Lives Matter is not an organized structure. It's not an official organization of any type. Black Lives Matter is a rallying cry for change, which I commend, but I don't commend the way that the chapters and entities operate, to the point where I took it upon myself to do a deep dive investigation on each chapter that uses the Black Lives Matter name, chapter, and entity. And the primary question that I am asking in the investigation is, where is the money? Where is the money that you raise for Black Lives Matter? In this video message, I'm focusing on the Black Lives Matter Los Angeles chapter, Los Angeles, California chapter. So let me let you know right now that this is going to be a long one because there is a lot of information to cover. And I've also included additional topics in this video that I didn't include in the other ones based on the feedback that I've received from people who are really benefiting from the videos thus far. So again, this is Black Lives Matter, Los Angeles. Where is the money? Again, I am Susan Woods, and I would like to take just a few moments to share some information about me because I think it's important to establish credibility when you are speaking about a certain topic. I want you to know why I feel I'm qualified to talk about Black Lives Matter, the entities and the chapters. So again, I'm Susan Woods. I started Comprehensive Community-Based Solutions Incorporated, a 501c3 nonprofit organization in 2003. Underneath that organizational umbrella, I provided two programs. The first program was called Panorama Computer Learning, and it was a program that allowed me to travel around with laptop computers and teach displaced manufacturing workers who were middle-aged how to use computers so they would be able to get employment again. The second program underneath that umbrella was called the Emerging Leaders Mentorship Program for Black Male Youth. And that program provided leadership development services for Black male youth between the ages of 10 and 18 years old. I earned 3 nonprofit management certificates, one from Duke University, one from Wake Forest University, and one from Winthrop University. I'm also a 3-time graduate of Winthrop University in Rock Hill, South Carolina. I earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration, a Master of Arts in Teaching Business Education, and a Master of Business Administration degree. I teach nonprofit classes in person and online. I teach people how to start, fund, manage, sustain, and reinstate 501c3 nonprofit organizations. I also teach a grant writing masterclass. I complete the Form 1023 application for recognition of exemption for clients across the United States who would like to get a 501c3 status. Thus far, I have completed 112 application packets, and I have a 100% approval rating from the Internal Revenue Service on behalf of my clients. So that's just some information about me. Like I said, I share that information to provide credibility and to share the reasons I think I'm qualified to talk about how nonprofit organizations should operate, or chapters and entities of Black Lives Matter that are taking money from people to provide community services. So this is episode number 8 of the series of the investigative series into the Black Lives Matter chapters and entities. And again, I'm focusing on Black Lives Matter Los Angeles. And the question is, where is the money? Black Lives Matter chapters. Now, according to the blacklivesmatter.com website, there are Black Lives Matter chapters across the United States. And again, the focus of this video message is Los Angeles, California. But there are 16 chapters that they identify on their website as official Black Lives Matter chapters. The investigation questions that I'm going to answer during this video message are as follows. Leadership names for Black Lives Matter Los Angeles, the mailing address, phone number, email or social media information, how they stand in Charity Navigator, GuideStar, and the Better Business Bureau, as well as the Secretary of State filing status. Now, these areas that I just mentioned, and these questions, Charity Navigator, GuideStar, BBB, and the Secretary of State filing status, this is the first time that I have explored these categories, and that's based on the feedback I've received from people who have been following these video messages. They wanted to know information about Charity Navigator. How does GuideStar look at Black Lives Matter Los Angeles? How does the Better Business Bureau look at them? Are they filed with the Secretary of State? So I'm going to provide answers to those questions as well. And then the IRS filing status. Revenues generated, revenues allocated. Are they accepting donations? And do they exhibit financial transparency? Now, with my investigations, I not only provide the answers to the questions, I show you how I get the answers to the questions. So I'm going to pause this screen, or pause this PowerPoint right now so that I can display the Black Lives Matter Los Angeles website and start answering some of these questions. So just one moment while I pause the video. Thank you. Okay, thank you for your patience. Now I'm going to show you the Black Lives Matter LA website. So this is the Black Lives Matter LA website, and I'm going to start with answering the questions that I listed. The first one is leadership names. So I'm going to click on who we are, because normally when you click on who we are, it provides information about the leadership team. So we have her story. Black Lives Matter emerged from the hearts and minds of our three co-founders, Patrice Cullors, Alicia Garza, and Opal Tometi. It came to life right here in Los Angeles, where the first chapter was birthed. Her story is an important telling of the emergence of Black Lives Matter and Black Lives Matter Los Angeles specifically, as a reclamation of and recommitment to Black radical organizing and Black freedom struggle. So far, we don't have the name of our leadership team for Black Lives Matter LA, so I'm going to click on read more. Okay, so here is some more information about how Black Lives Matter LA got started and why. I'm not reading through all of that. You can read that information because I'm looking for leadership names. So they're not here. Okay, so let's keep going. I'm going to go to guiding principles. Guiding principles are here. I'm not reading all of this. You can go back and read it. And there are some good guiding principles. The guiding principles are good. I don't have a concern about them at all. They're good. So if you want to read through the guiding principles, that's great. I'm still looking for leadership names. Let's see our team. Now they should be listed under our team. Okay, our teams. Okay, we have the Youth Vanguard team, Arts and Culture, Policy, Sacred Resistance, Legal, Action, Communications, Education, Labor, Research. Okay, so those are the teams that Black Lives Matter LA have established to provide services. And you can go back and read the information about the teams. And if you click on Get Connected, it will take you to an email account for some reason. But if you want to learn more about it, I guess you can click on Get Connected and communicate via email. Now, looking at this from a nonprofit perspective, they could easily change the names from our teams to our programs, because it seems like that would be a better way to describing what you do. And a team is going to implement the program services. But if I had a say in it, I would say, hey, let's change this from our teams to our programs. And then let's attach some information. Instead of saying get connected here, I would say something like learn more, and take it to a page to talk about sacred resistance in more detail. And on that page, I would have a budget to explain or to itemize how much it costs to implement the sacred resistance program. That's just my thought. And that way people can have a transparent view of what you're talking about when you say sacred resistance and how much it costs to implement the sacred resistance program. And that's just one example. Now, at the very top, it says Black Lives Matter Global Network is comprised of 40 chapters around the globe, bound together, I guess, to be a vision for Black freedom, unwavering commitment to liberation work, and our guiding principles. Okay, well, according to blacklivesmatter.com, there are 16 chapters. So I'm not sure where the 40 chapters are coming from. And also note the Black Lives Matter Global Network. That's another name for blacklivesmatter.com. That's I guess the official name for Black Lives Matter. I can't say the organization because it's not an official organization. I don't know how to describe it. Let me just say it's the first Black Lives Matter. Let's just say that. The first Black Lives Matter is Black Lives Matter Global Network, and it has chapters underneath it. But it doesn't have 40 chapters. According to the website, it has 16. Okay, so let's keep going. Still not finding the leadership names yet. So let's move over to organize. Organize current campaigns, so you can read more about their current campaigns. Okay, so these are campaigns that are specific to LA, of course, and things that they want to get done, and they explain the reasons why they want these things to happen. Okay, so you can read through that information. And now we have our victories. Black Lives Matter Black Lives Matter stakes our claim as heir to the Black Power movement. We are not a part of the nonprofit industrial complex. Let that sink in. We are not a part of the nonprofit industrial complex. We are not a policy or a social service organization. To attempt to measure our wins solely in terms of electoral victories, legal processes, legislation, public policy, or service numbers is, in effect, to submit to the existing hegemony. Y'all have to help me with that. I've never seen this word before. Hegemony, okay, that we seek to transform and to miss the whole point. Our victories cannot be confined to quantitative measures like those upon whose shoulders we stand. Our wins are much greater than the small buckets in which they seek to place us. Here are a few of our most recent tangible victories. Now, this statement is very bold and profound. But what it boils down to in my opinion, is you're unorganized and you don't want anybody to be able to measure quantitatively what you do because they probably can't. Okay. You don't want to be a part of the nonprofit industrial complex. So we're trying to make us think that it's a bad thing to have nonprofit status. Don't do that. Don't try to create this uh I don't even know how to say it. I know what I want to say, but I can't say it. It's not appropriate to say. But don't do this. Don't put the forth this statement as if to say that we are wrong to expect accountability and transparency. You are saying if we try to measure our wins in terms of electoral victories, legal process, legislation, public policy, and service numbers, yes, that's how I measure your success. What are you doing? You want to put forth some type of abstract structure that we're supposed to just blindly believe in because you say so. No, we're smarter than that. So let's look at the victories that they say they have. Albert Raymond Dorsey's killing ruled out of policy. The killing of Albert Raymond Dorsey was ruled out of policy by the Los Angeles Police Commission. Raymond was killed by two LAPD officers when employees at the 24-hour fitness location in Hollywood called police in on this black male gym member. Raymond was naked and had just exited the shower when police killed him. The steps leading up to his death were captured on body cam, but the officers alleged that both of their cameras simultaneously fell off before a physical altercation took place. The police commission ruling was a major step in efforts toward police accountability. It marks the second time in 2019 that such a ruling has been handed down and is one of only a handful of times in the last decade. Find out more about the ruling and Chief Moore finally recommending the firing of Edward Agdema or Agdepa. I'm not sure how you pronounce his last name. So, what did Black Lives Matter do to make that happen? And here are some other wins that they say what we should look at instead of any type of quantitative, service oriented measures. What I see they are talking about here is just information that I could have looked up, but it doesn't say what they did in order to make a difference or to cause things to happen. This is just information that you're talking about. Okay, so let's keep going. We talked about current campaign. Let's talk about updates. What's going on now? Let's talk about some updates. Because I still don't see leadership names, mailing addresses, or phone numbers that I can reach out to yet. So let's just keep going. I'm sure it has to be here. So some highlights, the latest. Weekly email highlights. Highlights. That's what they intended. Weekly email highlights for 6/15/2020. It's a huge week for activism with so many changes to stand, be counted, and make a difference. Let's go. Okay, so I guess this is what we need to do. 60 seconds for justice. Quick things you can do right now. Tweet, defund the police. Okay. Share the mail medical emergency fund for protesters. Call your state senator and tell them to vote yes. Okay. So how much does this cost to tell people what to do? You know, I'm not in LA, so I'm sure that these are good things, but uh, how much does it cost for this to happen? I'm trying to see where the money is going. You're giving actions for 6/15 through 6/22, which is good, I guess, but I don't see a cost for this. So I'm going to go back and let's see, events. Let's look at some events. Juneteenth Black Freedom March. That's today, Friday, June 19th, 2 to 3. Okay. So there is a march going on today. Did demanding a Black-owned Crenshaw corridor in the name of Richario Mack. Okay. That's the purpose of the march today. And then you have a rally in the name of Kenneth Ross Jr. and Our Fathers Stolen by Police Violence. That's on the 20th. These are events coming up or that have already happened. Okay. All right. Let's see. Social media. Here we go. Follow us on social media. So there is a social media presence. They're on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So so you can follow them on those platforms. Okay. Still no leadership names or mailing addresses yet. Okay, but those are social media platforms that you can follow them on. Okay. Connect with us. Maybe maybe this will help. Connect with us. Okay. Um Press policy. Okay, this is for the press. We make every effort to respond to media requests within 24 hours, usually less. Our members have their own voices and can speak for themselves as individuals. However, official Black Lives Matter statements must come from chapter or network designees. We are also able to connect media with many of the families and loved ones of those killed by police. So if you want to, if you are from the press, this is how you will contact them. Okay, you just complete the form. Okay. Let's see. Still no leadership names yet. Um, Rapid response, maybe. Families connect with us. Come in contact with Black Lives Matter Los Angeles. Okay, that's what this says. Okay, so if a family needs to reach out to them, this is how you would do that. You would complete this form. Okay, so let's go to resources. Resources, you have toolkits, healing action toolkits, chapter conflict resolution toolkits, talk about Trayvon, a toolkit for white people. Now these seem like educational resources that they have created. For example, the healing action toolkit. Let's see what it's about. The healing action toolkit. Okay. This toolkit was created to collate, condense, and share the lessons we have learned in ensuring that our direct actions are centered on healing justice. This toolkit is a beta version. It will develop in real time as we continue to uncover the implications for healing justice in our organizing. We extend our gratitude to the Black Lives Matter Healing Justice Working Group and all the chapter members who shared your insights, your innovations, and your struggles to support our shared knowledge. And if you want to download this information, you can download it here. So I clicked on download. Okay. I clicked on download and nothing happened. That's okay. That's okay though. No problem. Um, Reading list. This is a reading list that they recommend you reading. Okay. And if you have any additional suggestions for the reading list, you can drop them here, right there. Okay. Okay, so donate. Here's the donate page. Wow, impressive. So Black Lives Matter use GoFundMe to as a platform to raise money. And they have raised $2,313,770 of the $1 million goal. So they exceeded their expectations on what they wanted to raise money. So they've gone far above what they established as a goal. Again, 1 million was a goal, but they've raised over 2 million. So let's see why are they raising this money? So here's the team fundraiser. Her name is Melina Abdullah, and 2 others are organizing this fundraiser. Now, the fundraiser was created on July the 13th, 2018. So it's been up for 2 years. I don't know if they reactivated it recently or how that works, but it's been up for a while. And dreams, hopes, and wishes. What does that mean? I guess that's a category. Okay, sorry. That's a category of GoFundMe, I guess, that you can use to raise money. But let's look and see, why are they doing this fundraiser? So I'm going to read this because I've read it several times. I've reached out to Miss Melina Abdullah 3 times already directly through GoFundMe, and I haven't heard back from her. And of course, I'm asking her, where is the money? How are you using the money? I haven't heard back yet. So Black Lives Matter Los Angeles is the original chapter of the global movement built to challenge state-sanctioned violence against Black people and to vision and build a just and free society. Since 2013, Black Lives Matter organizers have been doing work to disrupt systems of oppression and work vision and build the kind of world in which we want to live. Our work includes nonviolent direct action, policy work, movement building, strengthening alliances, community self care, and creative engagement. We are not a direct service or charity organization, meaning they don't get out into the community. They don't get their hands dirty, okay, in the community doing direct service work. And they are not a charity organization, meaning they don't organize under the IRS nonprofit structure. However, we are connected to, engage with, and provide as much support as possible to the families of those killed by law enforcement, many of whom have become members of Black Lives Matter LA. Okay, let's keep going. Over the past 5 years, our membership has grown from 30 original members to thousands and 38 chapters around the globe. One time they said there were 40 chapters. Now they're saying there are 38 chapters, but according to the blacklivesmatter.com, there's 16 chapters, with Los Angeles remaining one of the largest, most active chapters. As we continue to challenge the system, there are real costs involved. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Because I want to know where the money is going, right? So this is going to tell us where the money is going. How are they using this money? Okay. They said they have real costs involved. So here we go. We need your support for materials and supplies, travel, and facilities costs related to actions, meetings, and our ongoing work. Please give what you can and encourage others to do the same. Now, let that sit right there. We need your support for materials and supplies, travel, and facilities costs related to actions, meetings, and our ongoing work. You have raised over $2 million. How can you justify $2 million for what you have listed here as cost? Why can't you just provide a budget that lists the cost that you are incurring and the expenses that you are incurring? As I mentioned before, you have the excellent opportunity to change those team names to program names and then assign costs to each program to provide transparency and accountability to what you're doing. I just don't see how it costs $2 million for the things that, let me highlight what you say you need. For the things listed here that I've highlighted, 2 million and growing and growing. People are literally donating as I speak. There is no transparency. Where is the money going? Surely, surely it could be better spent based on an outside. I don't live in LA, so I'm on the outside looking in. We went through the website. Did you see anything that they listed that you think would cost $2 million? And to then have the audacity to say, oh, we don't follow any type of nonprofit industrial complex. Okay. Let's keep going. Now, here are some updates. And people have the right to do whatever they want to do. They have the right to give however they want to give. And Melina is clearly a good organizer. She's raised $188,000 from 1,456 donations. So clearly she is good at what she does. But I've clicked this button 3 times, the contact button 3 times. And I know she's probably busy and overwhelmed, but with $2 million, you should have a staff of people who can respond to email inquiries from people who have invested. And I did make an investment just to see the flow of how the money flowed. I wanted to see what type of receipt I would get and things like that. And I did get a receipt thanking me for my investment. And I did get a follow-up email, because now that I've given my email, I'm going to probably get several more emails from Black Lives Matter LA following up, asking me to share the information with other people. But anyway, $2 million and growing with no accountability. Now this, in the beginning of this video, I said it was going to be longer than the other ones because I'm including information that I haven't included in other ones based on requests from people who are following this video series, investigative series of Black Lives Matter chapters and entities. But it's also longer because I learned some stuff that I did not know, because I was like, okay, fine, raise your $2 million, raise $3 million. Someone is going to report you to the IRS and you're going to be in trouble. That's what I'm thinking to myself, because I'm thinking if you're raising money without a paper trail, so to speak, without providing a way for people to follow the money, you're going to get in trouble with the IRS. That's what I thought until I learned differently. Let me tell you what I've learned. Oh, that's the fun red. Sorry. Let's talk about GoFundMe and how GoFundMe looks at money that comes through its platform. Donations made to GoFundMe fundraisers are usually considered to be personal gifts. Personal gifts. Let me pause and make sure that I am showing you what I want you to see. Yep. Sorry about that. I just want to make sure that you're seeing what I'm seeing. Thank you for your patience on that. So once again, donations, taxes for organizers, because I'm like, surely, okay, you're telling me you're not a nonprofit, you're raising all this money, the IRS is going to get you. Donations made to GoFundMe fundraisers are usually considered to be personal gifts, which for the most part aren't taxed as income. They're not going to be taxed. GoFundMe is like, look, this is your business. This is what you do. We're going to get our 2.9% off the top of your total campaign revenues, and we're going to get 30 cents per transaction. Okay, we're going to get 2.9 off the top, and we're going to get 30 cents per transaction. That's what GoFundMe is getting out of this deal. Okay, but they're saying, look, we're not even going to provide a $9.90. We're not even going to provide a $9.90 for you. No, we're out of that. That's on you. Now it says, however, there may be particular case-specific instances where the income is in fact taxable, depending upon the amounts received, use of the funds, and so on. We recommend that you maintain adequate records of donations received and consult a tax professional to be sure. GoFundMe, this is the part I was like, wow, this is blowing my mind. GoFundMe will not report your donations as income at the end of the year or issue any tax document. Read that again. GoFundMe will not report your donations. Will not report your donations to the IRS, is what they're saying, as income at the end of the year or issue any tax documents, because they're saying everyone's situation is different and tax rules can change from time to time. We're unable to give any tax advice. Wow. They're out of it. They're like, look, we're not going to get involved with all of that. If you want to raise money on our platform, then good for you. But we're not giving any reporting of donations or any tax documents at all. I was like, oh my gosh, okay. So let's go back to personal gifts. Let's go back to the personal gifts piece. What is a gift? Okay, let me go to the IRS page and talk about gifts. So I'm going to pause the screen just for a moment and go to that page to talk about gifts, okay, on the IRS page. I hope that you are getting something out of this investigation. I'm learning something every time I do an investigation. I'm learning a lot. So now I am on frequently asked questions on gift taxes. So let's talk about what is considered a gift. Let's go to that link first. What is considered a gift? This is irs.gov now. This is the governing body for everything financial. Any transfer to an individual, either directly or indirectly, where full consideration measured in money or money's worth is not received in return. In other words, I'm giving you something, I'm giving you money on your GoFundMe platform without any expectation of that same value of money being returned to me. For example, I'm going to give you $1,000, but I don't expect you to do anything for me, Black Lives Matter LA, that's worth $1,000. So who pays? Who pays the gift tax, right? GoFundMe says we're not giving any tax documents. So that's a hint right there. The hint is if they're not going to give the person, Miss Melina Abdullah for Black Lives Matter LA, any tax documents, that means she doesn't pay the gift tax, right? Because GoFundMe is not even giving her any record of what they raised. So who pays it? This what blew my mind, and I still can't understand it. The donor is generally responsible for paying the gift tax. So if I give a gift tax of a certain amount, and you can read more about this, there's some caveats here, but the donor is generally responsible for paying the gift tax. So I have to pay taxes on the gift that I give, depending upon the amount that I give. Under special arrangements, the donee, the person getting the money, may agree to pay the tax instead, but they don't have to. Please visit with your tax professional if you're considering this type of arrangement. Okay, now you can continue reading all of this stuff because, like I said, it's a lot of caveats. You know, the IRS, nothing is ever really straightforward. But what I'm gathering out of this is you can raise as much money as you want on GoFundMe platform. You don't have to report any of the money. You don't have to be held, you're not held accountable for how the money is used. The IRS is not concerned about it. You don't even, I mean, it boggles my mind that they're getting $2 million and it's okay. That's just fine. It's shocking to me, but you see it for yourself. You see it here. Now, the next question that people wanted to know is, that I'm going to explore. Oh, I just want to show you one more thing. I'm sorry. This is from Charles Schwab because I was trying to just get a clear understanding of what I was reading. You know how it is when you read something, you're like, that can't be true. That can't be right. That's how I felt about this thing. I said, there's no way in the world the IRS is allowing this organization to just raise unlimited amounts of money without tracking the money. So I went to H&R Block. Do I have to pay taxes on a gift? Now I'm talking about me giving, the donor. Generally, the recipient, the person receiving the money. Let's say Miss Melina Abdullah says, do I have to pay taxes on the gifts that we receive through GoFundMe? Here is the answer to the question. Generally, the answer to do I have to pay taxes on a gift is this. The person receiving a gift typically does not have to pay gift tax. The giver, however, would generally file a gift tax return when the gift exceeds the annual gift tax exclusion amount, which is $15,000 per recipient for 2019. The giver may also not owe gift tax due to the basic exclusion amount. So you can read more information about that. I told you it was a caveat, and the caveat is $15,000 per recipient. You don't have to pay a gift tax when the gift exceeds the annual gift tax exclusion amount. Too much for me to process. The bottom line is they're getting free money. They're getting free money, and that's okay. They got away with it. They're getting away with it. Okay. So now let me go on to the next question of the day, which is, are they registered with Charity Navigator? Well, you probably say, I know the answer to that question because they said they're not confined by the, what was it? Nonprofit industrial complex, I think it was. But let me pause just for a moment to pull up Charity Navigator. Just one moment, please, as I go to Charity Navigator, and I'm going to just pause for just 1 second. Okay, make sure that we're looking at the same page. I appreciate your patience, and I hope that you're getting something out of this information. So here we are, Charity Navigator, your guide to intelligent giving. Anytime you want to give to a nonprofit organization, I highly recommend that you go to Charity Navigator as one step in the process to see whether or not that nonprofit organization is listed. But like we already learned, it's not going to be listed. Not this branch of the Black Lives Matter is not going to be listed because they don't believe in it. They don't believe in being a charity. They said they're not a charity. They're not a service organization. They don't believe in a nonprofit industrial complex. So they're not listed here. But let's take a look. Black Lives Matter Foundation is listed. And oh boy, I have a lot to share with you about that. But the Black Lives Matter Foundation is not one of the Black Lives Matter chapters. As a matter of fact, most of the ones listed here are listed on IRS.gov as nonprofits, but they're not listed as Black Lives Matter charities or Black Lives Matter chapters, excuse me. I'm gonna leave it there because I can go on a whole nother tangent about that, but I'll leave it right there. We'll come back to it on another day, in another video. But Black Lives Matter LA is not listed here, which we knew they wouldn't be because they don't believe in it. So I can go out of Charity Navigator. So let me just close out of Charity Navigator. Let me pause the screen, please, and go on to the next one on the list that people are asking about, which is, I'm just going to show it to you. We know it's not going to be in GuideStar either, but let's just go there because I want to satisfy my viewers. And thank you so much for viewing. So I am now on the GuideStar page. And so let me share. So this is GuideStar Charity Check, another good resource to check the status of charities, keyword charities, nonprofit organizations. So I'm going to type in Black Lives Matter. By the way, when I conclude my investigations of all chapters and entities, I'm going to pass this information on to the media not because I'm a mean person, like some people have accused me already of being a sellout, but that's not the case. I just know that $2 million could really benefit Black communities in Los Angeles. I know that it has to be something that the Black community could use and benefit with $2 million. For example, with this COVID-19 pandemic, we have learned that there are many children who are on the wrong side of the digital divide, right? A lot of children don't have laptops and internet access in their homes to be able to learn, from home like some children do. I think $2 million would probably put a dent in that divide, don't you? But here we are with Black Lives Matter on GuideStar. And Black Lives Matter LA is not here, of course, because they don't believe in it. So you have Black Lives Matter Foundation once again. And I'm not talking about Black Lives Matter Foundation under the chapters because it's an entity. So I separated the chapters. I'm talking about the chapters in this video series, and then I'm going to do a video series on the entities that carry the Black Lives Matter name. So you don't see Black Lives Matter LA, and we know, or we knew we wouldn't. So let's get out of here. Okay. So I'm going to pause. The next question was, is Black Lives Matter listed on the Better Business Bureau site? So let's see. I'm going to go to Better Business Bureau for California. No, first let me go to the Secretary of State's office, then I go back to Better Business Bureau. The Secretary of State's office. So let me go there for a moment. The Secretary of State's office in every state is the first place you go to file your articles of incorporation if you want to operate a nonprofit organization in that state. As a matter of fact, the IRS requires you to have an approved filed articles of incorporation with the Secretary of State's office before the IRS will give you a determination letter stating that you have earned 501c3 status. So you have to go through the Secretary of State's office to get 501c3 status. So let's see if Black Lives Matter LA is registered with the Secretary of State's office. Again, we know they're not, but I'm just going through the motions. So we click on, I'm on, of course, the California Secretary of State office, and Alex Padilla is the Secretary of State. So I scroll down because I just want to do a search. I'm going to search by corporation name because whenever you file your articles of incorporation, you become a corporation. So I'm going to type in Black Lives Matter. You see, I've been here before because my search automatically populated. So I'm just going to do it again. Click on search. And let's see how many Black Lives Matter entities or chapters are here. So you have four that formally registered with the Secretary of State's office in California. The entire state of California, only 4 Black Lives Matter entities registered. And here we go again, Black Lives Matter Foundation. So the Black Lives Matter Foundation is listed on Charity Navigator, GuideStar, and the Secretary of State's office. Okay, so let's now go to the Better Business Bureau. So just one moment as I go there. Just one moment, please. You know, I was looking at an article. I was listening to the television today, and a gentleman was talking from the Better Business Bureau director, and he was saying that, you know, a lot of people forget to check the Better Business Bureau for background information on nonprofits because, you know, the word business, you just assume nonprofits would not be there, but they are. They are listed in the Better Business Bureau for whatever reason. Now, you can list your business or nonprofit on the Better Business Bureau just to have it as a resource for people to find you. But a lot of times people make complaints with the Better Business Bureau about businesses and nonprofit organizations. So I'm going to type in Black Lives Matter. I'm on the Better Business Bureau website for California. And let's see what comes up. Okay, so they didn't have any results for Black Lives Matter in Los Angeles, California. Okay, not surprising. That's okay. That's fine. I like to show people my process when I'm doing an investigation. I could have given you the results of this investigation 30 minutes ago, right? But I wanted to walk you through the steps that I use to investigate nonprofit organizations so that you can see for yourself. It's not based on Susan Wood's word. You saw Susan Woods actually go through the steps to prove what she's saying about these Black Lives Matter entities, and chapters. Now, the last step or the last question I'm going to answer is their filing status with the IRS. So let me go to where I always go for that, and that's irs.gov. So let me pause sharing until I get to the irs.gov site. Now, the IRS, of course, we know is the governing body for everything financial in the United States. So I'm at the irs.gov website. And anytime you want to check the status of a nonprofit organization, you want to go to EO Select. It's called, well, this is the old name, Exempt Organization Select, but they've changed the name now, but it takes you to the same correct page. It's called Tax Exempt Organization Search now. That's the name of the page that you want to go on in order to check the status of a tax exempt organization. Now, I'm going to scroll down, not reading through all this stuff, and click on Tax Exempt Organization Search. Now, I already know that Black Lives Matter LA is not going to be here because they don't believe in the nonprofit industrial complex, I think they said. But I'm just going to type in Black Lives Matter because I want you to see the list here. You see, I've typed it in so many times during the series. There are 13, I know that already, 13 Black Lives Matter chapters or entities that registered with the IRS as nonprofit organizations. Because if they weren't nonprofit organizations, they wouldn't be listed here. Now, although they are nonprofit organizations, that doesn't mean they have active status. So Black Lives Matter Charleston, South Carolina is on the auto revocation list because they lost their 501c3 status for failing to file a Form 990 information return for 3 consecutive years. Okay. So let's scroll down. We're looking for Black Lives Matter LA, and we're not going to find it. I already know that. But you're probably seeing some names that are familiar, right? I bet you're seeing some names that you've seen on some of the other sites we've already looked at. And the reason for that is as soon as you get 501c3 status or a nonprofit status, your EIN, employer identification number, and name of your organization is automatically uploaded to Charity Navigator and GuideStar because they are 2 resources people use to check out the credibility of nonprofit organizations. So here we are again with Black Lives Matter, the Black Lives Matter Foundation. We've seen that on each one of those resources, right? Black Lives Matter Foundation. Okay, so these are the entities under that carry the Black Lives Matter banner, not necessarily a part of the Black Lives Matter chapters, approved chapters. So I'm going to explore these in more detail in the Black Lives Matter entities video series. All right, so now it's time for me to go back to the PowerPoint presentation to wrap this video message up. So I'm going to pause sharing while I pull that up. Okay. So now I'm going to resume sharing. And I'm back to the PowerPoint presentation so that you can see the results of our investigation. All right. So investigation answers. Leadership names. I say yes, I guess, because I'm assuming that Miss Melina Abdullah is a leader because she is raising money on GoFundMe. I'm not sure. Mailing address. I guess we could use the mailing address that's on the GoFundMe account. Can we count that? Let's give them credit for that. Even though I would rather see leadership names and mailing address on the actual Black Lives Matter LA website, let's just give them credit for that, okay? Phone number, I did not see. Email or social media, yes, it did. Yes, Black Lives Matter has email and social media contact. Sharing and Navigator, not registered. GuideStar, no. BBB, no. Secretary of State filing status, no. IRS filing status, no. Revenues generated, yes, 2.28 million and growing. Revenues allocated. Where are the revenues going? Well, it gave us a broad statement about supplies and travel and meetings and things like that, but it didn't answer my question. So I don't know where the revenues are going. Accepting donations? Yes, absolutely. They're accepting donations. Financial transparency? No, not in my opinion. So these are the answers to the investigation questions. Profound to me. Okay, so let's keep going. Where is the money? Where is the money? And what services are you providing? I'm bothered by this because, I'm hearing so many corporations giving money to Black Lives Matter. And I always want to say, which one? Which Black Lives Matter are you giving money? Who behind the corporate donation is responsible for due diligence to make sure the money is going where you think is going? You see, the Black Lives Matter rallying cry is an excellent marketing tool. Excellent. You have everybody in the whole world, people around the whole world who are chanting the same message. That's excellent. And I just wish that the Black Lives Matter chapters and entities would formalize under a structure of accountability and transparency. You could do so much work, sustainable work, if you would do that. But just being out here in an opaque type of way, raising money without being required to talk about where the money is going. It's unsettling when we need the money so badly in the Black community, so badly. People are giving you money, but it's not going where it's needed. And that bothers me. So what is a personal gift? Let's look at that one more time, because that just stumped me. I don't know about you, but it stumped me. Donations made to GoFundMe fundraisers are usually considered to be personal gifts, which for the most part aren't taxed as income. Just raise as much as you want, no problem. Per the IRS, the gift tax is a tax on the transfer of property by one individual to another while receiving nothing or less than full value in return. The tax applies whether the donor intends the transfer to be a gift or not. And then finally, per the IRS, the donor, not the recipient, is generally responsible for paying the gift tax. The recipient, you're free and clear. You can do whatever you want, raise as much as you want, as long as it's labeled gift. I did not know that. I did not know that at all. Integrity is doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. C.S. Lewis. And I believe in that. I believe that if you have integrity, you're going to do the right thing no matter what, whether you have an audience or not. Even though GoFundMe and the IRS do not hold the Black Lives Matter LA fundraisers accountable, for financial transparency, integrity should cause them to share where the money goes voluntarily. You should want to say, this is where the money goes. You should want to create a budget for every program that you're offering so that people can see that you need a certain amount of money. Let's say for your education program. Create a description of the education program and then assign costs to it in the form of a budget. And then that way people will feel more comfortable giving money. But you are exploiting the death of Black people, in my opinion, the pain and suffering and heartache that people feel. You are exploiting that under the Black Lives Matter banner to generate money where nobody knows where it's going. There is no paper trail. But there is a way that people can find out. Major corporations that are giving money If they start investigating where the money is going and they include the media, that would be the end. That would be the end. And it's already happening. I'm going to talk about it in an upcoming video. It's already happening. Apple and Microsoft have already pulled funding from a Black Lives Matter entity because they could not get transparency on where the money is going and what services the organization provides. So I'm going to talk about it. The bottom is going to fall out, unfortunately. The bottom will fall out due to the lack of integrity and transparency. Where I stand, like I said, I've been slammed. You know, people have reached out to me. They've sent me nasty emails. I just said 3. I don't want to make it sound like a big deal because it's really not. But 3 people have reached out to me and really slammed me and, you know, saying that I was wrong. I'm a Black woman. And, you know, why am I calling out Black Lives Matter? They say, you know, we have enough division in the Black community. One lady said, I thought I could trust you and all kind of stuff. I am Black and I was born and raised in South Carolina. So the Dixie flag flew over our Capitol building in Columbia, South Carolina until 2015. It was only taken down because of the tragedy when 9 church members were killed by a racist bigot in Bible class. That's when they decided to take the Dixie flag down. I've heard oral histories about my family members who have gone through various things because of racism. I've been exposed to racism myself. I can't tell you how many jobs I've been overlooked for over the years because I'm Black. So when people come to me saying that I'm causing division in the Black community, it's confusing because I have taught free classes for years, for 12 years. From 2007 to 2019, I taught free nonprofit classes for free. No transfer of money. I still have free classes on my YouTube channel. I've completed 501c3 application packets at no charge. I operated the Emerging Leaders Mentorship Program for Black male youth and rarely got paid. So those 3 people who were my so-called, I won't even say friends because I barely knew them, but people who said they trusted me and now they don't trust me because I'm taking a stand, I'm speaking up about Black Lives Matter. Your trust in me was conditional on whether or not I always believe what you believe. So I don't need you. I don't need fair weather associates. And for anyone who takes a stand against what I'm saying, that's your prerogative. We live in the United States of America. You have the right to your opinion. But I'm going to keep speaking out about Black Lives Matter because I think they are exploiting Black people for personal gain. So where I stand is right here. I support Black Lives Matter social activism. It makes me proud to see diverse groups of people marching for change, especially young people. I'm glad to know that they care about the future and they want to do good work. I do not support the Black Lives Matter chapters and entities because they do not have formal leadership structure, measurable goals or objectives, common operational practices, financial transparency or accountability, and valid sustainability and long-term plans. I don't see that. I see just a Black Lives Matter chapters and entities just floating in the air with no types of foundational structure at all. Everyone is doing what they want to do with no leadership. Have you ever seen any organization that's successful, any business, any sorority, any fraternity, any Masonic organization, anything without a leader? Have you ever seen? I've never seen it. I've never seen it. And Black Lives Matter has the potential to restructure itself. Have one Black Lives Matter entity at the top as the nonprofit organization 501c3, and then have your chapters and entities that must follow the guidelines of the main chapter of the headquarters. I am a member of a sorority, and we have a national president. Okay? All chapters must adhere to what national says. The chapters just can't operate independent of the national chapter. That's how you have credibility. That's how you have accountability. That's how you have transparency. And most importantly, that's how you have respect. So this is where I stand. And I get more and more angry when I think about the Black people who need this money so badly. With the COVID-19 pandemic, the curtains have been pulled back to show just how bad in a position we are as Black people. Who is most impacted by the COVID-19 virus, a pandemic, the coronavirus? Who's getting the least care? Who is impacted more by the virus due to pre-existing conditions? Black people. And then you have millions of dollars going into Black Lives Matter that's not being used to help with this situation. Give me a break. I'm tired. This has to stop. This has to stop. I'm asking you to subscribe today to my YouTube channel if these video messages are benefiting you. If you know anybody else who would like to learn about Black Lives Matter chapters and entities, how they're using the money or where the money is going, invite them to subscribe. I do have other classes on YouTube, not just these. I do provide other classes on YouTube. So please feel free to subscribe and also click on the bell icon so that you can get a notification every time I upload a new video. Coming up next, episode number 9, we're going to talk about Black Lives Matter in Lansing, Michigan. Thank you so much for indulging me for over an hour. Black Lives Matter LA was a big one. The other ones are not that large and complex. So thank you so much for your time and have a great day.